What's up guys, my name is Brandon and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new 2019 third generation iPad Air, and this is going to be the first iPad Air to be released by Apple since 2014. So yeah, it's been 5 years since we've seen a new iPad Air, so it's going to be interesting to dig in and see what this thing is all about. So you can see the packaging is pretty traditional. We have an iPad on its side here on the front, we have iPad Air on the sides, and you can see there I got the 64GB model with Wi-Fi, and this is going to run you $499. But if you want to go up to 256 gigabytes, that's going to run you $649. And if you did want to have LTE on this as well, that is going to cost you a little bit extra. It's going to be $649 for the 64GB and $779 for the 256 gigabyte. All right, so let's just go ahead and get into the unboxing. We have this very easy tab to peel right here, unlike the AirPods, which I unboxed yesterday. It was pretty difficult to unbox those guys, but this will be a lot easier. So we can just rip off the plastic just like so. And we're just going to go ahead and take it out of the box here, get the top off right there, and you can see there is the screen of the iPad Air. It is in plastic. We're going to set that to the side for just a moment, and you can see inside we do get a lightning cable, so we don't use USB-C like we do on the 2018 iPad Pro. We do still have lightning. We do also have our little pamphlet here, and we do also have our wall charger right here. Of course, inside of the pamphlet we will find some Apple stickers. If you guys still collect those and put those on things, we do get the Apple stickers here with the iPad Air along with your little get started guide. All right, so we're going to put all of this stuff up and then take a look now at the 2019 iPad Air. All right, so let's begin by taking the plastic off right here. Gotta love the sound of that. Let's go ahead and boot this guy right on up. All right, so we are on the setup screen. Let's go ahead and set this up. And man, it's been a while since I've used an Apple product with a physical home button like we have here. So let's go ahead and set this up. And then we get our data and privacy here. Let's go ahead and continue. And then we get Touch ID. So we do have the latest generation of Touch ID. So it should be very quick and very accurate here on the iPad Air third generation. All right, very quick and easy, just as expected. Let's go ahead and continue. And we're not going to restore from a backup. We're just going to set up as a brand new iPad. We're not going to do iCloud just yet. We're not going to sign in just yet. And of course, we do have the True Tone display here with the new iPad Air. You can see this is what it looks like with it on. Without True Tone, it would look like this. So True Tone does make it look a little bit more realistic and not as blue. Let's go ahead and continue, continue. And we're just going to continue and speed right through these. And there we go. We are now on the home screen of the brand new iPad Air. And it looks like we may have a software update. No, that's finished setting up. So let's go and see what software we are on. I'm just curious. So we are on 12.2. So we're on the very latest software, which this just came out. So it's pretty interesting to see that we're on 12.2 here on the iPad Air. All right, so now let's talk about some of these specs on the 2019 iPad Air. You know, we're going to compare it to some other iPads as well, and I'm going to let you guys know if I think that it's worth buying or upgrading to. So first of all, we have a 10.5-inch laminated display here with a resolution of 1668 by 2224 at 265 ppi, and we can compare that to the iPad Air second generation, which had a 9.7-inch display with a resolution of 1536 by 2048 at 264 ppi. So there's only a very marginal difference when it comes to the pixels per inch, but the overall resolution is definitely better here on the 2019 iPad Air. And plus we have the P3 wide color gamut, and we also have the True Tone display, which I showed you in the setup. So the display on this third generation iPad Air is going to be noticeably better than the previous generation. And when we look at this new iPad Air, it's really hard to not see the 2017 iPad Pro in this because it's very similar in the looks department. We have the same exact 10.5-inch laminated display with the exact same resolution of 1668 by 2224 at 265 ppi, and also we do have True Tone as well. Now we do get some additional features like the 120 Hz refresh rate on the iPad Pro, which is going to be much better than it is here on the 2019 iPad Air, but as far as just the overall display and resolution, it's exactly the same. And of course we have the same physical home button, we have the lightning port and all that fun stuff. And while we're on that topic, we may as well show you guys around the device. So you can see the bottom here, we have two speakers down at the bottom. Now these aren't going to be near as good as the 2018 iPad Pro, of course. That's the other iPad that I have currently. But you can see we do have the lightning port there as well. Of course, we have the adapter on the left-hand side. Up top, we have our home button. On the side, we have our volume rockers. Of course, we have our front-facing camera in the front. And we do also have a very tiny rear-facing camera back here. Now, of course, nothing is really too exciting on the exterior of this iPad Air. I mean, we still have the big bezels around the edges. It doesn't really look very modern. We still have the physical home button. Again, we don't have a great camera on the back at all. It's only an 8 megapixel camera that can't even shoot in 4K. It only shoots 1080p. 1080p, but the inside is where things actually get interesting with the iPad Air. So even if you're coming from a 2017 iPad Pro, you will see some improvements on the inside, the internals. You're going to see a speed improvement and things like that, because we do have Apple's brand new powerful A12 Bionic chip, which is a beast and performs well even in the most CPU intensive situations. And I must say that the iPad Air is a beast when it comes to playing games as well. I even played Fortnite, I played PUBG already on this iPad Air, and I must say that it performs better than I expected. It performs very similar to my 2018 12.9-inch iPad Pro, which is really saying something. Now, we do also have 3 gigabytes of RAM, which is 1 gigabyte more than the second generation iPad Air, but 1 gigabyte less than the similar 2017 iPad Pro. I'm going to compare this a lot to the 2017 iPad Pro just because I think it's a very similar product at a very similar price point. Now, I know most of you guys probably don't take very many pictures with your iPad at all, especially not on the front-facing camera, but I still need to talk about it. I still need to compare it. So on the front, we have a 7 megapixel selfie camera, which is a huge upgrade over the second generation Air, which had a measly 1.2 megapixel camera. It just sounds terrible just saying it. And you know it's terrible when the 7 megapixel camera here on the iPad Air is terrible itself. It's like 6 times better, but it's still terrible. But anyways, on the rear is the same 8 megapixel camera that we've seen on most iPads recently, except for the iPad Pro models. And the quality of the rear facing camera is the same story. It's not really anything great. Nothing too impressive, nothing you're going to want to post on Instagram or anything like that. Now, it may be a little bit early to make this statement, but I just have to say it. I think that the 2017 iPad Pro 10.5 inch is a better buy than the 2019 iPad Air. I mean, you get everything you get here with the Air, but with the addition of the 120 Hz refresh rate on the 2017 iPad Pro, which actually makes a huge difference in day-to-day usage. You also get a better 12 megapixel camera on the back with optic image stabilization and the ability to shoot in 4K, none of which you can do here on the iPad Air. You will also get better battery life, and you can also use NFC for payments and whatnot. And like I said, you can pick up a 2017 iPad Pro for probably cheaper than you would buy the 2019 iPad Air for in the Apple Store. Now, one of the things I was most disappointed about this new 2019 iPad Air, and same with the 2019 iPad Mini as well, is that you can't use the second generation Apple Pencil. Why, Apple? Why would you release the second generation Apple Pencil and then 6 months later release products that aren't even compatible with it? You have to go back to the old original Apple Pencil. It just makes no sense. I really wish you could use this on the new iPads. Now, I know this isn't really a fair comparison or anything, but I just wanted to show you guys the difference between the 2018 iPad Pro, the 12.9 inch, and the new 2019 10.5 inch iPad Air. You can see the big difference in the bezels. Of course, we don't have the home button here, and you can see, of course, the much bigger display. So if you did want to spend about $300 more, you can go for the iPad Pro. I personally think it's worth it, but of course, that's not in the budget of a lot of people. Now, if you want to get a brand new tablet in 2019, but you don't want to spend more than $500, you can get the iPad Air, but I personally would rather get the 2017 iPad Pro, which again, you can get for nearly the same price or even cheaper. Now, of course, the device overall won't be as fast because we do have the A12 Bionic here and the iPad Air, but you get a lot of the additional features that are not going to be included with the iPad Air. Again, like the 120 Hz refresh rate, you have the better cameras, you have the better battery life, you can also use NFC for payments and things like that. But if none of those things matter to you, then of course the iPad Air will still be a great buy. I'm just trying to let you guys know what I personally would do. And once again, keep in mind that you will not be able to use the Apple Pencil with the 2017 iPad Pro or the 2019 iPad Air. You can only use this with the 2018 iPad Pro. So anyways, guys, there you have it. That is the 2019 iPad Air. I think it is a great product to have. Of course, there are a lot of different iPads in the lineup right now, so it will be a pretty tough decision. But if you have any questions about which iPad you should buy, if you want to know my opinion, leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. But if you guys did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Of course, make sure to subscribe. I will be doing another more long-term review on the iPad Air here as well. I will also be uploading a video on the new iPad Mini later today as well, so stay tuned for that video. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you soon.